As a woman, is it possible to keep from suppressing oneself in order to have or keep a relationship? So many of us don't take the time to form or acknowledge our own identity and take on the mate in our lives, lifestyles, values, beliefs, and priorities, and kind of lose ourselves. I've been there. I've feared being there. I'm now in a relationship with someone who's gone from being critical and fearful to supportive, accepting, compassionate, excited, daring, and passionate. I have been exploring the most important intimate relationship of my life, myself. Okay, now that I've become more the person that I would want to be with and have the momentum going, pursuing my dreams, is it possible to find the love, the right relationship, keep the momentum going, and myself in a relationship with a man? I'm Deborah Koppel, and I have met some women who are in these very possible relationships, and they're going to tell their success stories on my show, Woman Talk with Deborah Koppel. Welcome to Woman Talk. On my first show, my guests were women who had made positive changes in their lives. And in my search for these women, and actually the guests on my show, were not in relationships. In fact, many of them had to get out of relationships in order to regain their self-esteem or just get on with doing what they really wanted to be doing in their lives. So I decided I wanted to meet and talk to women who were doing what they really want to be doing and in successful relationships. I have some women with me here today who are in these relationships and doing what they want to be doing, and they're married. I'm very, very proud to introduce my guests. This is Jean McNeil Weiner, and Jean is the Director of Public and Community Relations for the Women's Imaging Center in Santa Monica. And along with being very active in the community, Jean received the Women's Referral Service 1991 Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and also the Santa Monica 1993 Women of the Year Award. And then we have Patricia Wisney, and Patricia is a psychologist who has her own practice here in Santa Monica, and she specializes in relationships. And then we have Jennifer Gordon. Jennifer has had her own public relations consulting business and is currently promoting and organizing a seminar, actually a whole series of seminars for women to plan their financial future, and she's working on this with her husband. And then to her side here is Venus DeMarco. And Venus has created and owns her own business, which is called Venus DeMarco's Day Spa and Salon in Bakersfield, California. Welcome, everybody. Jean, I'd like to start with you. You have, actually, you were married at a very young age.
Yes.
And divorced at a young age. Yes. And then you went for years, not even in a relationship. Actually, you told me you were in a 20-year relationship
Yes.
with someone.
Off and on, yes.
And then you decided that was going nowhere. And you were just going to concentrate on your career. And you were not even thinking about meeting anybody, or I don't know, maybe you could tell us a little more of that. But you were 49 years old when you met your husband, Nort. Yes, Norton. And I'd like you to tell us how were you feeling within yourself, and where were you at in your head when you met your husband? And then if you could tell us briefly how you met. think we'd all find that interesting.
Well, I was fortunate because I was already 49, into a career fairly well established, happy with that, feeling very good about that, and had really made up my mind that there was nothing else in life, and that possibly a lot of women meet the man that is in their life and going to be their main focus, but it just hadn't happened for me. And I, as you said, I was in a 20-year relationship, and this man was very nice, and he was comfortable to live with, but I awakened one day and decided that I did not want to spend the rest of my life with this man and grow old with him. So we parted ways, and I just went along in my career. And all of a sudden, in May of 1989, at a women's referral service meeting, and I might add there were 125 women in the room and 2 men. And one of the 2 men was Norton Weiner, my husband-to-be. And it was really not love at first sight, but almost.
Well, for him, you said he pretty much knew that you were the woman that he was going to be with.
We had lunch the following week, and of course I thought it was just a purely business lunch. But he said that when he left the restaurant, he said, "I am going to marry that woman."
Yes, yes.
And we started going together a couple of months later, I would say probably in August. And he proposed in September. And of course I was a little aghast because I was used to this long relationship. And we were married the following September. We became engaged on Valentine's Day of 1990. And we were married in September of 1990.
Well, that's wonderful. And so you've been married now for how many years?
It'll be 3 years this September.
Great. Great. Patricia.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi. You met your husband, Bruce. You had never been married yourself.
That's right.
And he had been married before. And you were how old when you met him?
I was 36.
36. And where were you at as far as your way of thinking when you met your husband? Were you actually looking for a relationship, or had you just gone on with pursuing what you want to be doing?
Well, as you said in your opening remarks, I had spent about 10 years of my life really trying to find out who I was and understand myself. And in that time I did meet some men that I was interested in, but no one really seriously. And so I had spent a lot of time getting to know me, and I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we both were talking about how it might be time for me to meet someone. So somewhere inside of me I was thinking that. I had that thought that now I'm ready after having my own center. And do you want me to tell you how we met?
Yes.
Well, this same friend of mine invited me to a cable TV program in which she was interviewing my husband-to-be. And for me, it was like one of the great romantic experiences of my life, probably the only one I'll ever have. When he walked through the doors, it was as if I had seen him before. I had known him. And there was nothing in his appearance that would have made me go, "Oh, this is he." It was something very deep and profound. And when I watch movies now, like we were just watching Dr. Zhivago last night, and I was thinking, that's the kind of love we have, and we still do today. So it was one.
And
of
was it the same for him? Did he say?
Yes. Well, in that he was taken by me, but there were some other people there too. But he was the one that proposed within, I don't remember. It was very quickly, as you said.
And how long did you wait to get married?
3 years. I really felt I wanted to make sure that this was right, even though initially it was so powerful for me. So we waited 3 years. We've been married 9.
9 years now. That's great. And now we're going to talk to Jennifer Gordon. Jennifer, you met your husband when you were how old, did you say?
I met him when I was 21. And at the time, I was waiting on tables through college. I had so much to do. I was so busy.
So you were very focused on your career.
The last thing I
everything you
wanted
were
was a
doing.
relationship. I just wanted to achieve the goal that I had. I had gone ice skating one day to kind of blow some steam and to get some exercise. And this man walked by me as I walked in, came down, sat next to me, and just immediately picked up on me. I mean, he was just, "Are you a member of the skating club?" And I'm like, "What skating club?" So he continued to follow me around the ice skating rink. And what was funny was I just moved into a new apartment. He asked for my phone number. I gave him the number. Apparently, I'd given him the wrong number. So meanwhile, I thought he was a creep.
And he thought you blew him off.
Exactly. So I'd gone skating about a month later, and he was there. And he said, "I've been trying to call you," and I realized I'd given him the wrong number. And after 2 weeks, he proposed. I thought he was kidding. The next day, when he went and bought me this amazing engagement ring, I thought, uh-oh.
This guy's serious.
I'm in trouble. So after about a year, he was much surer than I was. After about a year, I saw what an amazing man he was, and if anyone was worth taking a chance on and committing to, it was him.
And you've been married how many years?
5 years.
And it just gets...
It gets better and better. It just when I think I can't love him anymore, the next day I do.
Oh, that's
gets
very, very encouraging to
It
hear
gets
a
better.
story like
It
that.
does.
And Venus, you have a very interesting kind of relationship in that you have, how many years between you and your husband? 10 years, and actually you are older than your
Yes.
husband.
Mm-hmm.
And how did the two of you meet?
Well, it's not as romantic as the rest. We met in a bar.
Well, that's
And
interesting to hear that that kind of thing can happen.
yes, he asked me to dance, and I was 31 when I met him. Was not looking for a husband. I was having a good time. I was successful in my business. I was traveling a lot, and he asked me to dance. I danced, and the night went on, and because he was younger than me, I didn't want to have anything to do with him. I wasn't used to men that much younger than me, so. But he pursued me for 7 days straight. Called me every day, asking me out.
Persistent.
And you know, nowadays I find a lot of men don't do that. They're afraid to do that. If you turn them down once, they don't want the chase. So I was real impressed. Finally, I did go to lunch with him. Ended up having dinner with him. And the thing is, when I did go to lunch with him, it was like, all right, I'm just going to lunch. I'm going to get this over with. I ended up having dinner with him, and now I'm married to him.
And how many years have you been married?
4 years. And
That's-
we were engaged after 5 months. He's wonderful. He was very good for me. He lets me be me. And
So do you find any difficulties in the fact that there is an age difference?
not with
at
my
this time?
husband. He's like an old man in a young body. I mean, he's very mature. My husband was meant to be married. He's very good at keeping a marriage together because that's what he's very comfortable with. He loves family.
Which brings me to my next question that I want to ask you all. Is I want to start, why don't I start with you, Venus,
Okay.
since you got on the subject, is how do you feel you are able to maintain your relationship? Like, what are the keys?
Well, we've had difficult times. I mean, everybody thinks it's easy. It's not, especially with my career. I'm gone a lot. I speak at conventions. I work long hours. I have to nurture all day long, and then to come home and to nurture a husband. Well, I had a lot of guilt feelings about it for a long time. Finally, we talked. And I found out that it wasn't that important for him for me to be home every night making dinner. And I really believe that trusting, communicating, which everybody always says that.
And a cooperative mate, it sounds like.
Very, and you know what we do? We spend, we set days aside that are just for us. Every Friday night is our night. We make sure that we do a lot of that, so we make up for the time we don't see each other. And we have fun together. We scuba dive. We love to snow ski. And
So are you saying having a lot of common interests really helps?
yes, and at the same time we have a lot of different interests. But then we let each other be who they are. He loves karate. He's very much into the martial arts. He spends a lot of time doing that. I do different things with my friends that I enjoy doing. Because at the beginning, I think in a relationship, a lot of people try to make each other be who they want the other person to be like. What you expect. I always had dreams of what my husband was going to be like. And once I finally realized just to let him be himself, and he never had a problem letting me be myself, and things started to run smoothly.
So you said started to run smoothly. Were there any difficulties in the beginning that you had to work
Well, in
out?
the beginning, of course, it was all romance and lust and love, and it was wonderful. After about a year or so, then we started running into some hurdles, and we love each other enough to work it out, and that's the secret. If you want to work it out, you will. If you don't, you won't. It's what do you want out of the marriage? It's easy to end a relationship. It's harder to keep it together.
So you both feel very clear on what it is you want out of your relationship.
Definitely.
That's great. Let's move on to you, Jennifer. Tell us basically the same thing. I want to know what the keys are for you maintaining the relationship that you're in.
Well, I definitely agree with Venus. Ed and I have the type of confidence where we don't try to be each other's everything. I have friends that fill different needs, and then Ed has other interests, and when we come together, we're much more complete. We're not looking at each other solely for happiness or for fulfillment. The one thing I would add to what Venus said was, I have this enormous respect for Ed. He is someone that I admire, that I respect, that I look at, and he's so intelligent, and he has so many qualities that mean so much to me that it keeps the relationship at a level where you never really try to hurt each other. You don't try to make the type of mean digs or
Did you find
win
that this
or
feeling of respect for Ed is something that was new for you? Had you felt that in any other relationships?
Well,
prior?
yeah, it was very new, and it was something that grew. I mean, it was very much a love that started off, for me, very adolescent, and then it grew into kind of a mature adult love. He's always had it. He's always had the respect for me and the confidence and the trust, but for me, I've really had to grow into that. And
So
he's
as far as, I don't mean to interrupt you, but as far as how you were within yourself when you got into the relationship, do you feel like you were like gung-ho, confident about who you were, or do you feel like being in the relationship has helped build that confidence in you?
It's helped build the confidence because it's given me a security and a base of support for me to go out and discover who I am. I've become better as an individual because I know deep down I've got a safe place to come home to every night. So I think relationships don't take away from who they are, but they can add who you are if you're in a real mature and loving and wonderful place.
So when you feel like you're not communicating or you have something that's not happening in your relationship for you, what do you do? Take time out and say, look, I really need to talk to you about this, or?
Eventually, yeah. Eventually it gets to a point where we're able to sit down and to talk. But we always talk things out, and he's a much better communicator than I am. I'm the one that wants to just go for a long walk, and he's the one that says, we're going to work this out. And that's good. I think that we balance each other out very, very well.
So yes, the reason I was even trying to bring that up is it seems to me that what everybody's bringing up here is communication is the key to a relationship. And how about you, Jean? What do you feel like is the key to you and Nort?
Well, since Nord is a therapist and does a lot of heavy work during the daytime and often many times at night, and I'm a breast health educator, and that is a pretty heavy subject, we laugh a lot together and we have fun. And I think that that's very important when you're able to laugh and have a good time and let go and be silly. And if I ever have to criticize him in any way, I have a bear. We collect bears. And I have a brown grizzly bear named Nortona. And I will tell him, Nortona doesn't like you doing that. And if, you know, I'm not criticizing, Nortona is. And so I thought I was really getting away with something for all these months, and it was going very well. And finally, he looked at me one day and he says, you know, Nortona has a big mouth. And we really, really started laughing. So it's a joke now between us. I say, Tona doesn't like that. She just sent me a bear wave, and she said she doesn't like that. But we laugh a lot together. I've never really had more fun with anyone. We are really, many things about us are different, but we're really kindred souls. We're crazy. There's a lot of craziness about us. And he's just really one of the most romantic men I've ever known, which is wonderful.
And that's very
And
important to us women.
I might add,
Very.
the only man that I've ever known has truly loved me, and I love him just as much. I never ever thought I would experience that. My parents have been in a happy relationship for 57 years, I think. And my mother said to me one time many years ago, I just hope that you can find a man that you love as much as I loved your father. And I never thought that would happen.
That's wonderful,
But-
though, to grow up with an example like that. So many
Yes, it is.
people have not had that opportunity.
That's very true. I think that that's one of the things that was able to get me through my life and all of the trials and tribulations. My mother used to call my life the perils of Pauline, and it seemed like when I left home, everything happened to me. But I was able to work through the problems because of the happy childhood that I had had, and I really feel extremely lucky about that.
That is wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Patricia, you and Bruce, how is it that you feel like you maintain your relationship with both of you being such busy people?
Well, I think what Jean said really struck my heart. I do feel we're kindred spirits. He, for a living, interviews people and has them tell the story of their lives, and I listen to people about their lives, the stories of their lives. And we're very conscious of our own story. Coming together, we both realize that I feel that in a relationship you're there to grow, to help each other grow. And if that isn't happening, then it isn't really working very well. And so I would say in the last 12 years that we've been together, as a person I've grown enormously because of the work we've done together. And when we run into difficulties, when we have fights, I think it's pretty unusual not to. But we're always trying to, each of us, find out what our part in the argument is, what we contributed. And then it takes a little while to get to that point, because usually one of us feels the other one needs to see something more than we need to see what we're doing. But it's been so valuable, and I would say my husband Bruce has grown enormously as well. And we feel it's a spiritual and an emotional experience, the relationship. It brings you together at a very deep level in a way that you don't, as you say, don't have the opportunity to do in life.
In your practice, Patricia, in which you specialize really on relationships, what do you feel like is the running theme of people's problems in maintaining their relationship?
Well, I think many people, I shouldn't say everyone, because for a time in my life I wasn't sure I wanted to get married. So I don't think that everyone has to have this burning desire to have a relationship. But I do think everybody wants love. And however that comes to you, whether it be in a marriage or some other way, through perhaps your profession and the way that you teach. But I think people really want to feel loved, and when they run into a problem in a relationship, they generally are feeling like the other person isn't valuing them in some way, and that love gets cut off.
And in questioning these people that are feeling that way, do you find that they're not feeling the same about themselves?
Yes, yes. It always starts. When I'm feeling like my husband is abandoning me, or maybe isn't there at that moment for me, it's generally because I'm not able to, at that point I'm feeling myself, abandoning myself. I'm not really there for me. And I'm looking to him to fill that hole,
Yes. I think that's a very important point to make.
Yes.
Also, I find it very curious, in my search for women that were doing what they want to be doing and in relationships, I found a real tough time finding anybody that had children. And I know, Jean, that you had a child from a previous marriage.
Yes.
But do you all feel like that can work? Can you do all that you're doing and be in a relationship and have children? And are you planning on having children?
I'm trying to get pregnant, so I would say I think it can.
So you do have that in mind in
definitely.
the future. And how about you, Jennifer?
We're actually talking about starting our family next year. We just want to get a little bit more established career-wise, both of us. And then I think we can definitely have it all.
That is the key. The key question that I want to know is can we really have it all? And so many of us are afraid because we've been told in the media and society that no, it's not possible to have it all, and you lose so much. But having you women here with me today is very encouraging in knowing that yes, you can have it all. This type of life does exist. And very quickly, I'd like to go, starting with you, Venus, I'd like to know, do you have any problem finding time to be with yourself or to regroup? What exactly do you do to regroup?
Well, I love to work out. And my husband is gone a lot in the evening, so a lot of times when I come home at night, I can be by myself. We're real animal lovers. We have a lot of animals, so I spend a lot of time with them. And I think I need to be by myself because in my business, I'm one-on-one with people all day long, nurturing them, touching them. And so it's very good for me to come home and just be by myself for a little while. And
That's great. So it is important for you to
It's
be by
very
yourself.
important.
How about you, Jennifer?
Definitely. I do the same thing. I exercise. I take a hot bath every night, which is my way of getting focused. And just having outside interests. I have girlfriends that I wouldn't trade for anything, and I spend time with them every week. I cherish that time.
That's great. And how about you, Jean?
Well, I have a very busy life. I'm on 16 or 17 board of directors, and I'm saved because Nort works a lot at nighttime. But it's our very special time of life for us, and we do everything together, and that's what makes
So
it
your
so
way of
special.
regrouping is actually being with your husband.
Oh, absolutely. Every moment is precious because both of us are so busy.
That's great. We're going to have to move along to Patricia.
To be alone, I meditate. I do that morning and evening to kind of center myself. And then we spend a lot of time together too, my husband and I. We climb mountains, and I love to be in nature. That really helps me to feel the depth of my being.
That's great. Well, I sure appreciate you all sharing your success stories and your relationships with me and our audience. And I want to thank you all for joining us on Women Talk with Deborah Koppel. Thank you.